Hey YouTube, welcome to Koala Gardens. Come on in with me and have a look at some of the things that happen here with the work that I am able to do because of the support of amazing businesses that support my calendars, In the Loop adopters, my ever-growing Patreon family, and other people who donate in all kinds of amazing ways. These people make all of my work possible, and I'm eternally grateful to them. I want to acknowledge the Widjabul Waiable people of the Bundjalung Nation, who are the First Nations people that were custodians of this land. I am so proud to live, work and play on this amazing place. Now, today we get to see some of the beautiful things that I found Valentine doing. If you've been following me, then you'd know that Valentine is the alpha male on the property. And this property is a private property that has been turned into a wildlife sanctuary. I donate a lot of my time, energy and money to creating a safe place to try and help ensure that there will be koalas into the future. Valentine moves through a really large area. I don't know exactly how far he moves because he goes outside the boundaries of my property, and he goes outside every different boundary, so north, south, east and west. So my property is probably pretty much in the middle of his territory, and he moves through all the time. But today he's taking a break and spending the day sleeping and having a big meal in one of the really big forest red gum trees that I can see. I can see it from my kitchen window, but it's not one of the ones right outside my kitchen window. I can see this tree most clearly from a spot right in my backyard. So it's like from my backyard, I can look through into Valentine's backyard. You can see that he's quite comfortably sitting there just munching down on those leaves. The leaves are quite large. You can see that some of them are at least as long as his head. Like, look at that leaf. And he just grabs the leaf, biting it off from the base of the leaf, and munch, 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 chewing through until the leaf goes right down into his mouth and the tip will disappear into his mouth soon. It takes a lot of chewing actions to eat even just one leaf, and he's going to eat a lot of leaves during this meal of his. Koalas eat with almost like a quiet, just determination. They just have to sit and chew their way through. Now that he's finished that leaf, look at how he's checking out these other leaves and deciding which to eat. A koala won't necessarily just eat any leaf on any particular tree. They will check the leaves out and they will find the ones that they want. Now, sometimes the older leaves are not as appealing to them, but sometimes they do like the older leaves. You can see that he stopped to have a bit of a scratching session under the arm, under the chin, and now back to the important decision of the business of which leaves shall I eat. This one, thanks. Now you can notice that that's not necessarily a young leaf. Insects have even had a go at that one, so maybe for all we know, that means that it's actually a pretty darn good leaf. Again, back to that quiet determination of just munch, munch, munch make your way through that meal. And just like that, he has a bit of a stretch, and it's like he decides, maybe that'll be enough. What I notice is that koalas often will stop and have a little bit of a break during the time that they're eating, a bit like taking a break in between courses of a meal. And sometimes they will just eat and eat to a certain point and then literally eat one last leaf and stop and go off to sleep. Another way you can support what I'm doing without making any commitments to any regular type of supporting is to use that super thanks button that's just down below the video and throw even a couple of dollars towards all of the work that I'm doing. You can see that he's not actually asleep, but he's looking pretty comfy, and I think that that belly is pretty full. I've got the camera set up on a tripod, and it's got such a great clear view straight through to him. And it's so funny. It's almost like they're sort of sitting on a bench or even sitting on a little swing. And they're quite like having a little fork of a branch in front of them that they can rest their head or rest their chin on. I'm quite a surprising distance away from Valentine in this tree, and if you keep watching, in a little while I will actually zoom out and you'll get a bit of a feeling for how far away I am, but also for how huge this tree is that he's in. It's funny how a koala can look really comfortable. You're watching them, they stay in one position, and then for whatever reason, they'll just suddenly get on the move. They might move just a little tiny bit, or they could climb down and leave the tree altogether. You can see that Valentine's climbing down a little bit. Luckily, I happened to come out just as he started moving, and so I was able to whip across the yard, get to the camera, and bring it up into a slightly better position again to be able to see him better. Here we go. That's better. He's quite awake and alert now, really, and he can actually see me. But like I say, keep watching because in just a little bit I'm going to zoom right out and you'll get an idea for how far away I actually am from him. But koalas have quite good vision on the one hand, but they often need things that they're looking at to be moving and for there to be something obvious about them. If I was just standing very still and he happened to open his eyes and look around, he probably wouldn't notice me. But he did become aware of me because I did come across the backyard a little bit fast to adjust that camera. Now it kind of appears like he's watching me, but he's actually watched me for a moment or two, decided that I wasn't really interesting at all, and he's just now generally looking about as he sits there in the tree. Really looks quite regal sitting up like that, doesn't he? He is just one marvellous koala. I always love the way they're able to use that combination of feet and hands to hold on in the trees, and how sometimes they'll hold on with their feet and just curl their hands in, and then other times they'll kind of curl their feet together almost like we would our hands and just hold on with their hands. All right, let's have a bit of a zoom out so that you can get a feeling for the size of that tree and for how far away I actually am. So I'm actually up a bit of a slope, which puts me on a reasonable level that I'm not having to look up too high at Valentine. If I was down lower underneath the tree, I'd have to have the camera angled up and we'd like be looking up at him from below. But because there's a bit of a slope that comes up to where the house and then where the backyard is, I'm able to be on more of a level with where he is, that the camera is only angled up a little bit. And so it gives us a really nice view as though we're just sort of, standing with him down at eye height. But as you saw, he is quite a way up a large tree. And now I just love this. Like if you're watching him, he's just going to slowly drift off to sleep. you've really got to wonder how they hold on. I know that I'd give a little jerk or something as I'm going to sleep and give myself quite a fright and wake up with a start. But koalas don't seem to do that. You see, even his ears are starting to droop down and relax. And slowly, slowly, night night, Valentine, he's drifting off into a lovely sleep. He's not gone into a really, really deep sleep. And I don't know what it was that kind of made him just wake up a little bit then. But he's still, in that place where he's kind of half aware of stuff that's going on around him. Half aware enough that anything that happens, a sudden bird or, something can still wake him up and make him just kind of start looking around, check that everything's all right before drifting back off to sleep again. And now, guess what? Yep, you know it. You've done it. You've made it to the end of yet another Koala Gardens video. Thank you so much for watching. Would you take a moment to write into the comments below, "Off to sleep, dear Valentine." Thanks so much for watching. I love it too when I see people talking to each other backwards and forwards down in the comments under the videos. Please do support each other because we're all here because of our amazing deep love of koalas, nature, the environment, our gorgeous planet that we want to preserve and pass on all of the beauty of this world to the next generations. Another really easy way to support Koala Gardens comes around any time you need something for yourself or you're looking for a gift for someone that you love. There are so many different things that you can look at in my Redbubble store. Over 66 different types of merchandise and a whole lot of different designs that I've created using photos of the beautiful koalas here on the property that you can have printed on anything. Do check it out. There's something for everyone, and they're all sustainably produced, printed, and posted out.